My name is Nate Boley, and 20 years ago, strength training changed the course of my life. I built a gym here in Bend, Oregon from scratch that's helped over 1,500 people change their lives as well through strength training. If you want to change your life, head over to BendStrengthWarehouse.com, hit the Start My Journey button, and let's chat. All right, guys, we'll see you there. Hey guys, welcome back to the Go Heavier, Go Home podcast. I'm your host, Nate Boley. Today we have guest and member of Strength Warehouse, Scott Hiss. So I'm just going to give him the microphone and let him introduce himself. Scott, how are you today?
Hi, so far so good. My name is Scott Hiss. I'm retired and moved to Bend back in 2010. And I'm here today because I've become a fan of Strength Warehouse. I've entered into their Legends program, and I'm enjoying it very much.
That's awesome. We'd love to have you here as well. Can you share just a little bit of your journey with us, and then what was your fitness background? Did you have anything before you came here?
I've had little or no formal training whatsoever. Through my younger years, I was pretty active. Raced motorcycles as a youngster, and throughout my married life raising kids, I ran frequently and entered into some small triathlons. And tried to stay fit, which is tough when you're running a business and have 4 children at home.
Absolutely. What has your experience been like training with us? Anything stand out, or anything that you got, any surprises?
Well, I think one of the things that's most unique for me is I'm in a small class. Our class size ranges from 5 to 10 people. You get to know everybody pretty well. Yeah. The staff here is very friendly, and it's very inviting to come in here, and I look forward to it twice a week.
That's awesome. We love to hear that. Since starting strength training, have you noticed any changes in your life, both physically or mentally?
Well, I have. I've been a reasonably frequent gym goer, and I found myself getting complacent in my workouts. I would go and do the same thing over and over again, and really came out of it without a whole lot of meaning. Since coming here, I started last July. I've lost 15 pounds. I've learned a lot about proper exercise, and I'm motivated to improve my workouts at all times.
That's awesome. I love to hear that. And that's a lot of the reasons why we started this gym, because my wife and I met in the gym, kind of like access anytime, go and do whatever you want to do. And we just saw the same thing. People would just go in, they just go through the movements, but they really wouldn't get what they're going there for.
Yep.
Right?
Go through the motions and go home and call it a workout. And it proved to be not that fruitful over time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it definitely is better than doing nothing, right?
Absolutely.
But when you have, especially this day and age, like everything just goes so fast and there's so much demanding our attention, we want to be very intentional with our workouts and not waste any time, right? So you started to go in a little bit, some big milestones, personal records, body composition changes. I know you said you had lost 15 pounds.
Since I started the class,
that's
and
awesome.
It's been about 10 months now.
Yeah, that's great. I love to hear that.
Yeah, it's been very motivating for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. What's next for you in your health and fitness journey? Do you have any specific goals or anything that you're trying to work towards, or is it just just give me a little bit on that?
I don't have any big goals. I think my main goal is to just keep moving.
That's great.
Be more conscious of my health and what I eat. And, when you're retired, sad to say, every day becomes Friday.
Yes.
And you find yourself getting very complacent in your habits, whether it's eating habits, drinking habits, relaxation, and this is helping correct my mind in that and put things in a proper perspective. So.
That's awesome. Yeah. Do you think that now that you're seeing some more progress, that you're more intentional with other things in your life?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. My time is better allocated these days. I just have more of a daily regimen in my life that works out better for me, and I feel much better.
That's really good. Yeah, it's really good. Has there been anybody in your family being like, "Hey, Scott, we noticed some changes with you," or anything like that?
Not so far.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm sure they do see it. They just haven't been vocal about that.
Yeah.
You know, I want to touch on what you said. Like every day's Friday, but then you have like the Legends classes kind of splits up the week. Like, does that help you keep a better schedule or a better like outlook on like, hey, it's not there's things out there besides just relaxation and retirement.
Most definitely. I'm in the Legends class, which is 2 times a week, or each class is 45 minutes long, so it's not a major commitment and it's not extremely strenuous. It is very effective, however.
Yeah,
you realize with the Tabata method that we use that it really builds up on you and carries with you throughout the day.
Yeah.
But having those 2 days a week makes me want 2 more days a week, and I'll find myself doing other things that that keep me moving.
Yeah, and that also gives you a little bit more in your toolbox. So when you go do other exercises, you can be like, oh, hey, I've got a new thing that I can implement in there.
Absolutely. I find myself doing that at home, especially.
Yeah, I love that.
I can carry these methods there, and again, when I would do floor exercise or stretching or band work at home, it's so easy to forget the routine. It's so easy to not do things properly, to not do them enough, or to skip them altogether because you just forgot about that particular exercise. And this is just a reminder twice a week that this is all it takes. Mm-hmm. Just keep going.
Just keep going, yeah. The cool thing about something like that is you come in and you know the program's there for, and you don't have to like rack your brain on like, oh, what should I do today? Is this going to be effective for me? Is this taking me down the path that I really want to go or need to go? And I think that's a lot of the reason why, like, even myself as a trainer and a coach, I have a coach for my fitness, right? I just want to be able to go into the gym and, my time, as you said, being a business owner, and I don't have 4 kids, but I got 2, it takes up a lot of time, and you want to go into the gym, and you also want to make sure that you're keeping track on your fitness and stuff. And for me, just like you said, like, I want to go in and just have it there for me and know that I'm being taken care of, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome. If you had any like advice on somebody who's like maybe thought about it or anything, joining Strength Warehouse, what would you say to them?
I would say you owe it to yourself to give it a try.
Yeah.
The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Try it. The class sizes here is small.
Yeah.
It's intimate. Everybody becomes friends. We have a friendly, laughing banter in the class, and you get to know everybody. You get to look forward to seeing them. It's not like some of these other classes where there's 40 and 50 people all marching to the same beat, and you start and then you get through it and you're done and you wipe your brow and you go home. There's much more camaraderie here. It's a very comfortable environment to be in, and I would strongly encourage, if anybody's got the wherewithal, just come and try it.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate that. And I think we try to do that with all of our, that's a kind of something that we've been striving for at Strength Warehouse, whether it's in a class or a private session or something like that. Everybody becomes friends, and there's just more of that intimate connection, which is really what we want. One of the reasons why we opened the gym, my wife and I were big into powerlifting, and we just noticed around the gym we were at, we look around and so-and-so's on a squat rack here on his phone, and guys over here, and we go to the same gym for like 5 years, and I was like, I see these guys and these ladies, never talk to them, right? Because they're busy, they're in their zone, they've got headphones on, it's not building a community. And I was like, man, the best times I ever had lifting and exercising was when I was with a group, and we all had fun. We all went to powerlifting events together. Now you guys are powerlifting, but similar thing, right? You look forward to seeing your friends.
We don't power lift. I'm not a power lifter. I'm not in the greatest shape in the world. And it's really easy for me to get into a gym environment and be intimidated by some of this.
Yeah.
You watch people who have been obviously doing this for a long period of time and realize I'm so far from that point. And that's really not what I'm even striving for, but there's an intimidation factor, and here you just don't have that. It's good for me, it makes me feel good, and I leave here happy.
That's great. That's exactly what we want. Can you tell the listeners a little bit about like what the class is like, or about like what kind of stuff do you do?
It's very basic. It starts out with some basic warm-ups, and there's usually 6 stations that we visit during the course of the session. Ranging from some floor exercises to some 2-arm curls. Today we were on a rowing machine for a bit, doing kettlebell squats, ball slams. Nothing off the charts crazy. You know, it just gets the blood flowing and a little sweat on the brow and makes you happy.
I think it's simple, but like you said, effective. That's really what we're going for. You don't need to do all these crazy things to get a great workout and to have exercise. It's just the simple basic stuff. So we really try to hone in on that particular thing.
Well, I wanted to point out too. Prior to me moving to Bend, one of my fitness major achievements for me was to run the Chicago Marathon.
Okay.
And I worked all year to get prepared for that. And my main goal running the marathon was to not walk. I didn't care what my time was. I just didn't want to walk.
Yeah.
I crossed the finish line in 4 hours and 10 minutes, and I was very proud of myself.
That's awesome.
I found myself standing next to an elite runner who had been there for some time, and I just asked him, how long did it take you to run this? And he said, my time was 2:05. And I looked at him, I said, man, I don't know how anybody can run 26.2 miles in 2 hours and 5 minutes. And he looked at me and he said, what was your time? And I said, my time was 4 hours and 10 minutes. And he looked at me and he said, I don't know how anybody can run for 4 hours and 10 minutes.
Fair enough.
But shortly after that, I had meniscus problems in the knee.
Yeah.
And I had my knee scoped at that time, cleaned up, and the doctor said, there's heavy arthritis building up on your knee, Scott. Somewhere down the line, you're going to need knee replacements. Well, that year came in 2016.
Okay.
Both knees were replaced at that time. And I was in severe pain leading up to that. So my exercise regimen had dwindled down to very little.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, you realize you're not jumping back into the same ship again.
No.
You know, you can't do a lot of things that you used to do, and you're not going to be able to. So you try to reinvent the wheel and come up with new methods of doing things.
Sure.
And again, this class is really helping adjust to that transition in my life.
Yeah, that's awesome. Did you have both knees done at the same time?
No.
Okay, I was like, man, that would be really rough.
The doctor said he's done that 4 times in his career and he'll never do it again.
I can imagine that would be really tough.
They were 2 months apart.
Yeah.
And it was really hard to go in for the second one, knowing what you were in for.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
Overall, my legs are great.
Good.
I feel really good.
Good,
and I'm moving around like never before. There's no pain.
Good. I think that's a lot of times people say that they get a knee replacement. They go, man, I wish I would have done that sooner.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, knee pain can be, I've got some knee pain as well. It's definitely not anywhere near like needing any type of surgery or anything. But yeah, when you bend down, you're like, ouch, every time, right? And then the pain just builds up and builds up. But that kind of segues into like, you don't need to be an athlete to come into this gym and do this class. You can be anywhere from post surgery, having knees replaced. It's really an all inclusive, and we can modify for anything.
You could even be an old fat man.
Yeah,
just like me.
Well, I wouldn't call you that, but okay. Yeah, absolutely. You can definitely do that for sure. How'd you hear about us? I guess I missed that question, but how'd you hear about us, and what made you decide to give us a shot?
I was scrolling through Facebook, and there was an ad that popped up there, and it sparked my interest, and I realized this is not far from my home.
Yeah.
Let's go check it out, and let's try it for a few weeks or a month. Yeah.
And then we decided we wanted to go down the route of Legends with you.
Yep.
And then you never left.
No, and I have no intention to.
That's awesome. I'd love to hear that as well. That's awesome. So no particular goals, just moving and having fun, and you have grandkids and stuff?
I would love to see another 15 pounds shed in the future, but
perfect.
I'm on a slow boat to do that. Yeah. I have realized that at 69 years old, there's no reason for crash courses anymore in my life. Nope. Let's do things in a lifestyle fashion.
I love
Let's make a change that's permanent, whether in my diet, in my activity, in my whole environment around me.
Yeah, I think that's the key to success.
It's working.
Yeah, it's working, and it shows. Obviously, you got down 15 pounds, and so many people. And I'm no stranger to this as well. Like you want the result now, right?
Yep.
You want the result now, so you do things that might get you there, and you might lose 15 pounds right away, but it's not going to set in stone. It's not going to be a habit, so it's probably going to come back. And you're going to be on this yo-yo thing. So changing your life and changing all your habits and changing your mindset, I think, is the biggest thing, right?
It's huge.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah. When did you kind of decide that was going to be the way you're going to go with your life?
Well, I just got to the point where I saw the Facebook ad and I kind of realized, I'm not getting a real meaningful workout these days.
Yeah.
I'm going to the gym 2 or 3 times every week. I walk my dog every day. I'm an avid bicyclist. I'm on my bike frequently, but it's very haphazard, kind of complacent.
Yeah.
And if I intend to ride my bicycle on a given day for 2 hours and I get to that 45-minute point and I don't feel good anymore, I go home.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's just done. And now there's just enough in me to keep pushing a little bit extra.
That's awesome.
Without hurting myself.
That's great. Have you noticed since you started doing our class, the Legends class, that you're bike riding? I actually didn't know that you're a cyclist. Do you think that's gotten better? I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Everything I do, I can feel more stamina.
That's awesome.
in what I do.
Yeah. Stamina, stability, mobility, and strength is really what we're looking for, right?
Yep. And I'm putting exercise right there with food in my life. It's an integral part that needs to be there.
Absolutely.
On a regular basis and scheduled.
Yeah, absolutely. When you started strength training with us, you started changing your diet as well?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, cool.
I did, because at that time I realized that I'm overweight by a lot, and it's not getting any better, any faster.
Yeah.
And so I need more than just a couple day workout.
Sure.
I need a lifestyle change.
Yep, 100%. And I think, obviously you can get pretty far with just doing exercise, but exercise and diet and, like you said, lifestyle is kind of that like triangle that really just kind of it bridges it all together, and it really works together well, right?
It does.
Yeah, that's great. So we talked a lot about strength training beyond the gym. Have you had any like really moments that were like, bam, that the gym really improved your outside life?
Well, other than the fact that I leave here more energized.
That's awesome.
And I can carry that the next day as well.
You have the feel good stuff going on in the brain.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And our classes are Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah.
And so often I won't do anything on Friday.
Yeah.
I'll just take the day off.
That's cool.
And if I get really lazy or something happens and I skip Saturday, then I really feel it. And
For sure.
I really feel like I've done my body wrong.
Yeah.
And I need to get back at it.
For sure.
Like I say, I don't do anything in high intensity whatsoever.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
just motion.
Yep, that's great. I love that. Yeah, I think that really, what you said really resonates with me too. If I take like a week off or something like that, 'cause things get so busy, your body knows like, hey, I felt really good when I'm working out, and I'm not feeling great now. So it's funny how that happens, right? So yeah.
And for me, the diet goes with it.
I agree.
All of a sudden, if I miss a day of workout, I don't really care what I eat, and I find myself indulging in things that I really probably shouldn't, or too much of.
Yeah, I was going to say everything in moderation. It's all about having one cookie instead of 12 cookies or whatever. I'm not sitting here telling anybody, unless you're got a mission to like get on the bodybuilding stage or something like that, right? To get super super lean, but you can still eat that kind of stuff, and we try to go in like an 80-20 rule. So like eat 80% of the time clean and healthy and stuff, and the right amounts, and then 20% of the time you can go have a beer and a burger or a pizza or whatever, and it's not gonna affect you nearly as much as if you were doing it like either flip flop that where you're eating 80% crappy and 20% good, or just anything at all.
I had developed the philosophy that since bacon comes in a non-resealable package, that's one serving. It's just one serving.
Okay, fair enough. I like that. I'm going to use that next time my wife gets some bacon. Hey, you just bought me a one serving. Thanks a lot. That's awesome. What's the biggest lesson you've learned about yourself through strength training here?
That I can do it.
That's a great
that at 69 years old, I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
And to some degree, I'm going to be able to continue to do it into the future.
Yep. I love that.
Just keep it going.
Yep. I can't think of the law right now, but once in motion, it's easier to stay in motion than it is to stop.
Absolutely.
Newton's law, is that what it is? I can't remember. But yeah, I think I've talked to a lot of people, your age and above, or even below, and they're like, "Oh no, my exercise days are far behind me." And I was like, "Are you still breathing? Can you walk? Are you?" Absolutely not. Your fitness is not.
It's
far
a
behind
great
you.
point. There's so many people that I socialize with who don't.
Yeah.
Their activity is maybe a walk around the park, and that's it for the day. And
it's not enough.
It's not enough. It's just not enough.
No, it's not enough, and it's really a bummer that they have that mindset. But hopefully, through this podcast and through people like you and me, where we go and talk to spread the word, that more awareness will be out there. And I would love it that our Legends class is fairly full most of the time. I'd love it if we had it 5 days a week, right? And just have more people coming in there. So we might have to expand the Legends.
There you go. That wouldn't be a bad idea. I think I would sign up for an extra day or two under the circumstances. And I'm knocking on wood that the class doesn't get too darn big,
Right.
Because, like I say, one of the main attractions is the intimacy of the group.
Yeah.
Megan, our leader, is awesome.
Fearless leader Megan.
Fearless leader Megan. I mean, it's just bright and cheerful and happy.
Good.
When you walk in the door here, Nate, there's just smiles, good mornings from everybody. It's very family oriented, and it just feels good to come here.
That's great. I love to hear that. And we're not the Legends class the way it is right now. We have capped it off at the max we can have. I think it's 10. I want to say. Yeah. Mostly because we want to make sure that we're giving you guys a great service, making sure that we can keep good eyes on you, right? Because there's injuries, there's things we gotta go modify around, knee replacements, stuff like that. And if it gets too crazy, then it's like just like you said, those 30-40 person classes where there's no personal feel, there's no touch points from the coach. And it's just not a great service.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's why we'd have to add more days.
you have me with the knee issue. We've got another classmate that has feet issues.
Yeah.
And there's attention paid to all of us for our specific needs because it is a small class.
Exactly. And that's what we wanted when we designed this class. We're like, hey, how do we make sure that these people are getting the best service possible? And what does that look like for, obviously it's a business, so it has to make money. But how do we make sure that it's making money, but we're also giving everybody exactly what they want and need? And I feel like we've done pretty well on that.
Well, you hit a home run, in my opinion.
Well, I appreciate that for sure.
I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, great. Awesome. Well, hey, Scott, was there any last words or anything you'd like to leave out there for the world?
Anybody hearing this, if you're old and thinking about it, come on down and try it.
Yeah.
If it's not your cup of tea, it's not your cup of tea, but it's a small commitment to make to test a new limit for yourself, to step a little bit outside the boundary and try something new. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
I love that. That's great. Well, thanks, Scott. I really appreciate being on the
My
podcast
pleasure.
today, and hopefully we'll have you on. I don't know, like another time, maybe on this year. Or
I'm available.
Like yeah.
I'm
Okay.
available.
We gotta get you some goals. Something like, I don't know. What's a good cycling goal for you?
To leave my electricity turned off.
There you go. Okay. I need to get one of those bikes, man. I rode my bike 4 or 5 times to back and forth from home, and it's got like a mountain bike. It's got fat tires on it, so of course it's already against you because it's got wide tires. And I had this lady just zoom by me on one of those electric bikes, and I was so mad about it. I was like, oh, because the wind was blowing on me, and I was just like, I need to get an electric bike. But
I had a recumbent and a mountain bike after my knees were replaced, and got back into cycling. And it really bothered me climbing hills.
I bet.
The torque on my knees kind of scared me a little bit, and then the last thing I want to do is have something come apart.
Right.
And that's when I discovered, I was one of the early guys in town here that discovered electric assist bicycles. And the first time I got on one, it's like, this is going to change the world.
100%. And it has.
And it just, for me, I still get a great workout.
Yeah.
I can cover way more miles on it, but it flattens the road out. You adjust the electricity for your inclines, and it just flattens all these hills out, and you can go anywhere.
Right,
it's wonderful. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome. I haven't even tried one, so I don't know if I want to try one because I'm going to be ruined.
You get hooked.
I'm going to get ruined, right? It's like, get rid of all the regular bikes. We're all e-bikes now. But right on. Okay, well, yeah. Thanks for being on the podcast.
My pleasure.
And appreciate you guys being here today. Just remember, you're capable of more than you think. And just get out there today and take some action, all right? All right, have a good day. Thanks for joining us on the Go Heavy or Go Home podcast today. We hope you got a lot of value and had a ton of fun. If you guys want to learn a little bit more about what we do, or just have a ton of resources at your fingertips, head over to benstrengthwarehouse.com and hit the Start My Journey button. All right, guys, until next time, go heavy or go home.